Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another apartment renovation. Today we are creating an apartment for a flight attendant. This is actually an idea that's been written down on my to-do list for a while and it just sounded like a lot of fun today. I wanted to decorate a smaller apartment, specifically this one, Pinecrest Apartments number 402 in Evergreen Harbor, because it's one of my favorite ones to decorate. And I feel like we did a little bit of a different layout in here. The living space is generally in the same spot, but I feel like the bathroom being where it is really helped change up the layout here a little bit with this little hallway that leads into the living room, or leads into the bedroom and into the bathroom. So first I'm figuring out the layout of the kitchen. I really wanted to use these countertops from Dream Home Decorator because I love that the end piece has that little towel on it. For some reason, I just really wanted to use that in this space. So that is what we started with, and then I'm just trying to figure out what colors work best here. I didn't end up keeping this swatch. They actually end up being the green swatch at the end, which is not one I think I've used ever, or if I have, it's been a really long time. However, at some point I would like to use the swatch that I have right now because I've never used that one and I think it's really pretty. But anyway, I did end up having this really pretty tile backsplash that came with Growing Together. I've been really enjoying it lately and using it a lot, and I just thought it looked nice here having that accent wall of the brown back there to go with the white walls, just for a little bit of contrast. And that's when I decide that the cabinets I was using weren't working. They looked kind of odd, and I thought it would be nice just to have a little bit of cabinetry over on the side with some shelving, and then I could put the fridge over there. And we're actually going to have a island in this space. I guess it's more of like a peninsula sort of. It's connected to the wall over by the fridge and it comes out, but I think the layout in this kitchen worked out really nicely. I end up having the stove and oven over there. I have them as two different pieces. You'll see that here shortly using some of the pieces from Dream Home Decorator. So I really liked that. That is not where the oven ends up staying because I end up putting a what's it called? A dishwasher there instead. I end up putting the oven in the island right next to the stovetop. And then I knew I wanted to use these new posters that we got from Growing Together because they have pictures of various locations in the game. So these ones in particular are Windenburg and Mount Komorebi. So I thought it would be nice to have some nods to travel for this sim. I really wanted the space to just be kind of like cozy and relaxing, but have nods to what they do because I think they're really busy and on the go and flying all over the world. So having a space that they can truly relax and feel at ease is what I was going for. But I did have a lot of fun picking out the various like travel inspired pieces to put in this home. I also thought about using these couches from Seasons, which I didn't end up doing in the end. Instead, I used these new love seats that came with the Book Nook kit and made a sort of sectional over here with them, and I love them so much. I haven't really used these outside of tucking them into bookcases yet, so playing around with these is going to be something I do a lot of coming in the future because the pillows are so nice and they're really modern sofas, and I feel like you could fit them in a lot of different interiors, so I was quite happy to put those here. I also knew I wanted to have a desk over in between the kitchen and this living space. But it did take me a little while to pick which one. But in the meantime, I'm moving those posters over. And then this is the desk I ended up going with, which is also from Dream Home Decorator. I just feel like it fit the space a little bit better since it is taller. It just takes up more vertical space. And I think that helped to sort of divide the areas of this apartment. To like further help with that, I will be painting behind the desk to have like it have its own sort of dedicated area. Kind of how I feel like in a lot of interior design nowadays, you'll see painting on the wall of like an archway or something like that to signal an area being its own space. So I wanted to do that kind of idea, but I just do it with single tiles of paint. I have two of them right here that are blue. I also added a bookcase in the living space, and then we're back in the kitchen trying to add a couple more decorations as well as work on this little office space. I kind of go back and forth quite a few times because I didn't feel like this space was fully decorated and needed a couple more things. But we get there in the end, and I think it comes out really cute. Of course, I'm adding the cutting boards. I do have to add those in every build, or most of them, because they are just such a nice piece. It isn't like, oh, I just add them because I always add them. I add them because they're one of the few items that you can place in kitchens that really make it feel decorated but aren't taking up counter space. because they're wall decorations. So your Sims can still prep on the counters. You put those over and it just makes the space feel more decorated. I just really enjoyed that. I also wanted to add a corkboard up here with all sorts of postcards. It looks like I added 2 of the same one without realizing it, but that's okay. Maybe they got a couple with like different messages on them, but I was thinking they could collect those on their travels. And I just thought it was a cute idea. It makes sense if you're going all over the world as a flight attendant. For the most part, you're probably just like on the plane, but I know sometimes there are overnight stays in various places. I've actually seen quite a few like vlogs of people who are flight attendants, and they document their experience with like overnights in different countries or different cities, and it's really fascinating. I recommend checking out some of those if you haven't already. And also, if anyone has any experience working in that industry, it'd be very interesting to hear about. I don't know if that's something I could ever do. I don't particularly like flying. I feel very uncomfortable. Like, I don't feel scared when I'm flying, but I feel like I can't breathe when we're going up. It's just a very uncomfortable feeling. So flying is not my favorite, but anyway, we don't have that in The Sims anyway. I just thought the idea of this apartment would be fun and give us like a different prompt to go off of. I really enjoy decorating spaces that I can kind of imagine the individual in, so I can like pick out what I think they would have, the sort of vibes they would have in their space. It's always a lot of fun to decorate spaces for somebody that I haven't really done something for before. And speaking of which, over here, I decided to put a couple of clocks. I was thinking they were all displaying at different times. Maybe there are primary cities or countries that this sim flies to on the routes that they typically take. So they like to just have a display of the times that they're generally visiting. So I thought that that was a cute idea. But back in the kitchen, I'm getting our microwave in here. I also got some soap by the sink and a little towel, and I have the dishwasher over here now. I had mentioned earlier adding that. And then I added like a plant and some other clutter up here. I believe we get a phone and a place to throw change. Just a bunch of items from the Everyday Clutter Kit. I feel like they fit quite nicely over here to make the space feel lived in, but I didn't really want it to look messy. Like I said, I wanted this to be a really like cozy, calming space for this sim. And I think I achieved that, but you can let me know what you think of this build. And if you do like it and you'd like to download it, you can grab it right now. It is available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. And that information will also be in the description down below if it's easier for you to find it there. Anyway, over here, I am further decorating these little shelves. I just get this little plant and I believe some incense on the top shelf as well. I wanted to keep it pretty simple, but I always forget that we have the incense. They came with Spa Day, I'm pretty sure, and I almost never use these items, but I think they are so cute. So I was glad that I remembered to add that in this space, and that should be it for the kitchen. I'm just decorating the desk now. I never noticed that I have 2 of the same postcard, which is really funny watching this back because I recorded it and then I edited the footage and I still didn't notice until I was doing the voiceover, but that's okay. But over here I add glasses and an open book. We have business cards, although I'm not sure if the business cards stay or not, but I do end up getting like a display of books as well as pens and pencils. I just really wanted this to feel like it was a desk being used, but not too messy. So you can see me adding all of those things now, using that shelf from Dream Home Decorator to help place things at more precise levels. That's very helpful if you don't have the red shelf, which is a CC item I use sometimes to do the same thing. It's very helpful to just kind of line it up to place things when there isn't the slots that you want on something. But anyway, over on the other side of the room, I am adding this little TV unit from Dream Home Decorator and putting a TV up above it on the wall. I don't really decorate the unit. I thought it just looked nice just floating there, keeping it really simple. And then I end up having some curtains and a coat rack by the door. I really like these curtains from the Desert Luxe kit. They're some of my favorites. And I decided to go with something bigger here because it gives the illusion that the window that is behind it is bigger than it is, since this is the version of the apartment that hasn't been updated. If you weren't aware, the apartments in Eco Lifestyle, they can be updated to be more modern using the neighborhood action plans that come with that pack. And there's one called Modern Development, and then whatever section you're in. I think this one's Conifer Station. and it will update them, and there'll be big modern like orange windows, you know, like the eco lifestyle orange. But this was not the updated version. I'm just using how it is by default. And so I just wanted to give the appearance that the windows were a little bit bigger. I do really like decorating the apartments when they are updated, but at the same time, then you're kind of tied into a color scheme because the windows are that orange wood color, and that's not always something I want, so I liked it a little bit better using the original windows in this one. In the hallway here, I end up using the shelving unit from Eco Lifestyle, which I really like. It has so many decorations on it, and it fit in that space perfectly, so it doesn't feel like the space is pointless. Obviously, that's not a usable object, but it makes the hallway look decorated, and I quite liked that. But this is going to be the bathroom, just using some more of that same tile I used in the kitchen on the walls, and this wood tiling from Eco Lifestyle on the floor, which I really, really like. I think it works nicely in here. I kept this space pretty simple like the rest of the apartment. I wanted it to be neutral and calming and cozy, all of those words that I've used a few different times in this build by now. And then we just get some towels on the wall as well as a bath mat. And then we should be moving on into the bedroom to decorate that space. I ended up going with this bath mat from the bathroom clutter kit in that like sort of teal color. Not quite teal. It's more of like a mint. But anyway, this is going to be the bedroom. I decided to add a closet over in the corner. These built-in closets from Get Together are my favorite to use. But we've only ever gotten those built-in closets with that one pack. I really hope someday they add more to the game because it would be nice to have that in other packs. I know it was like a gameplay feature to have these closets. You could like plan out outfits, and there's some other interactions in them. I'm pretty sure you can woohoo in them and a few other things. I think your kids can play in them, but it's been such a long time, and it would be nice to get some more versions of those in a future pack. Definitely let me know if you agree. But anyway, in this bedroom, I did use this new bed that came with Growing Together, and I also added some of those like travel pictures up above the bed. I thought they were really pretty. I know they're a little on the nose for this concept, but I still really liked them. And this room is so simple. Aside from that, I thought that they just added some nice color and personality to the space. I also used these new lamps that came with the book nook kit on the bedside tables. I really, really like those. I think they are so pretty. And that rug is from that kit as well. And I also enjoyed the pampas grass in the corner. I don't know, just something about this room feels so cozy. I feel like I could take a nap in here. I'd actually like to. That sounds lovely right now. But anyway, I'm just adding some more bedside table clutter. I always use stuff from the Everyday Clutter Kit. It has some really nice clutter for bedside tables. So that's what I'm doing now. And then we should be getting a dresser on the other side of the room. I'm pretty sure I grabbed one from Eco Lifestyle. I actually really like the dresser. I ended up grabbing this one. I think it is such a pretty shape. It's so modern, and I paired it with this mirror from the Jungle Adventure pack, which is one of my favorite mirrors in the game. I just thought it looked really nice here, and it matched the color schemes that I was going for. And then I added a little plant over here as well as a clock, and I believe we get a chair in the corner as well. And that should be it for this apartment. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more, and click that bell to be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, enjoy the screenshots, and I will see y'all in the next one.